No countdown this time.
I'm trying to find it. Be patient, man.
Oh, oh, I didn't
Jesus.
know you had a.
This dude Raphael is impatient. I'm here, darker than dark ever. Man, black and ugly as ever. However, I cannot see myself, man. Where's the light around here? Tweet Talk
Stay,
Millionaire Podcast. Tweet Talk the Millionaire Podcast. Um, here
stay
with
Gucci down to the socks.
here with Raphael. Um, please say the JD and all the other amazing stuff, man. We out here in Detroit. Detroit episode. We out here. Episode. Keep your foot on their neck. Episode.
Tweet Talk episode, whatever episode this is, it's 139.
Episode darkness.
Episode darkness. That's better. That's better.
There's only
Welcome
like
to Tweet Talk. Welcome to Tweet Talk, the Black Wealth Podcast, where we talk about building black wealth and we break down these financial tweets. I am your host, Raphael Husbands, along with my co-host, Charles Oglesby III, JD. Please say the JD. We are here. You are here. Let's get to it. What's going on, Charles? Now, before I ask you about what's going on in the capital world, I think we could just jump it off with the tweet. Because you'll say, they said I couldn't lay floors, so I laid floors.
Man, I was talking to my mom about this, and you know what? The only condition of you being able to do something that somebody else can do is that you breathe air. If you breathe air, if you're a human, you can do what they could do. These folks are not superhuman. They do not have unique skills and the ability to teach them how to put floors on the floor, or teach them how to paint, or teach them how to put mud on the wall, or teach them how to do any of that stuff. And so I never believed that anybody has an ability that I can't learn or has a skill set that I can't learn. And so when we're working through this property and working through this project, I've just constantly been having to like learn new things and do new things. But one thing that I learned is that once you do it once, you can do it over and over and over again. So the only reason why I know how to do floors is because I came out here and I did those floors. Only reason why I know how to paint is because I came out here and I painted. And so now those skills are transferable. But also, so for example, with the windows that we're working on, like if I can modify the windows just like they're modifying the windows, it's just time at that point. It's like if I can do one window, if you show me how to do one window, I can do the rest of them like that. And Detroit is a very interesting place. It's interesting because a lot of these people, they can never do the work that they say they can do. They'll say that they can do the work and they just go hire it out. And it frustrates me because for you to tell me that you can do the work and you can't do the work, it's unethical. I'm going to say it's unethical. And there's a lot of unethical business that goes on in Detroit. And I think that's the number one risk. The number one risk is people telling you that they can do what they can't do and you paying them good money to do it and then them not doing it. And I've experienced that with pretty much everybody that I've worked with on this property. Pretty much everybody said they could do some stuff that they couldn't do or acted like they were doing the work and they weren't doing the work. An example would be the painter. The painter, him and his wife had no idea what they were doing, but they still took the job and they didn't do any work and they just walked around in circles and the other guys did the job. And then they sent an invoice. And the reason why I know they don't know how to do the job is because, and what makes me frustrated is because like people who don't know how to do the job, one of the things that you'll experience is they won't complete the job because they don't know what a finished product looks like. They can't give you a finished product. And so they'll start it, it'll be halfway done,
Mm-hmm.
and then they'll be asking for more money, and it'll never get completed because they don't know what to complete. If they complete it, now you're looking at them like this isn't done right. I don't think I found anybody in this house that's done anything except for maybe the actual trades, like the electrician, the plumber, the HVAC guys who have done something the way it was supposed to be done. The siding guy didn't do it the way it was supposed to be done. The framing guy didn't do it the way it's supposed to be done. The drywall people didn't do it the way it's supposed to be done. Literally, nobody's done it the way it's supposed to be done, but they all charge big money and they all expect to get paid when they want to get paid very quickly. So it's just been a very interesting experience because I just been dealing with a bunch of people who are shifty. But I'll tell you this, I could potentially take a loss on this project. But you know what? I don't care. I think that people who are non-entrepreneurial think that you do things and you don't take losses. And they think that if you're going to take a loss, then it's a bad deal. Not realizing that I'm starting a flipping business. I'm not flipping to get paid. A lot of people were like, I'm going to do this flip, I'm going to get paid, and I'm going to be out. Not realizing that not realizing that I'll make all the money that I might lose on this project back on the next deal, and the deal after that, and the deal after that, and the deal after that. And so business is a marathon, it's not a sprint. That's what Nipsey Hussle was talking about. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Now, if I lose money, it actually is a tax benefit because I can now use it to deduct off my income. And so losses aren't the same across the board. Like if you're a high income earner and you take a loss, it actually could help you. I don't think I'm going to lose. Ideally, I won't lose. Ideally, I'll make at least 50K, at least 50K. Ideally, I'll make six figures. I like to make six figures. But I've learned a lot throughout this whole process. I've learned a lot. And sometimes the best lessons happen when you get burned. And I say that because when you get burned, you don't make the same mistake twice. You never touch a hot stove twice. And the hot stove that I touched was not getting something in writing. And by not getting it in writing, it allowed somebody to shift the terms on me. And then now I'm over here trying to like scramble and figure stuff out when I should have got it in writing so I could hold their feet to the fire. When they get something in writing, they want to hold your feet to the fire. They don't want to put themselves in writing or get held to the fire. People love contracts until the contract's enforced against them. And so, yeah, I mean, all that to say, like, I'll do it myself. I'm the best person I got. I'm the most trustworthy person I got. I'm the most dependable person I got. I'm the most honest person I got. I'm the most person who's going to put their best effort into it. Because even the people that I pay, man, I pay people and they just be like doing shit the sloppy way. Like we were working on putting the floor in, and the floor has a situation where it locks. So one part of the floor locks with another part of the floor. And the guy that I hired, he was like half-ass doing it. And he was like, oh yeah, we'll just put it in there, we'll just glue it in there. I was like, why would you want to glue it in there if it has a situation where it can lock? If it can lock, it should lock. We shouldn't be over here saying, oh, well, it's not going in the way that it's supposed to be going in. So we're just going to like half-ass it and just go about its way. And I'm finding that like people don't put the same effort and energy into your stuff as you put into your stuff. And it's disheartening to a certain extent, but it's also just like the reality of it and just knowing as a business owner, that's the way it is.
That's the way it is. Because motherfuckers will take 2 months to do something that takes 1 week, but once the work is done, they expect payment immediately.
Immediately. And what I found from that, man, is like everybody's the victim in their own story. You literally like somebody will take 2 months to do something and expect you not to be mad, and then get mad if you're mad. And so I found that I can't express everything that I'm thinking, even if it's justified. I can't tell people that they're wrong, even if they're wrong, because all they're going to do is get upset with me. All they're going to do is deflect. all they're going to do is throw it back at me. And so I'm finding that, and it's difficult sometimes because people will want to talk to you on the phone. They'll want to call you and have a conversation with you, and the conversation starts flowing, and you start saying things back and forth. And before you know it, you out there telling them themselves. And it's like, I didn't want to tell you about yourself, man. I just kind of wanted to let you just be you. And so I didn't offend you, but now you drug me into offending you, and now I got to offend you. And so it can be kind of tough, but I'm just finding that this whole process is very interesting. To a certain extent, I kind of want to give up on Detroit a little bit. I kind of want to be like, you know what, I can't do Detroit. I can't do the people who are like padding accounts and trying to charge you more. But really what it matters is knowing your costs. If you know your costs, they can't do that to you. If you have your connections, they can't do that to you. If you have your Rolodex of people, they can't do that to you. They can only do it to you if you don't know your costs and you don't have a network. Because you should know how much it costs to frame a window out. You should know how much it costs to do all these things so that if somebody tries to pull some crazy ignorant stuff over on you, you can call them out on it. Like, I'm not paying you that much. It doesn't cost that much. And I got people who can do it for that much. If you don't have people, you're going to get played. So you have to have people who can do it so that then you can protect yourself. I got to get my food, y'all. Raphael, talk to the people.
Talk to the people. It's funny because Erica Williams was telling me the other day how she was visiting her property in Detroit, and she was asking the company for a quote on cleaning out her property, and they wanted to charge her like two grand just to take some trash out the house. And it was like she wasn't even asking them to really clean it properly, but just take it out and put it in the dumpster. And they try to get her for 2 grand. I was like, man, that's that out of town.
These people
That's
are crazy, and they're going to try to play you. They're going to try, and you know what's bad about them charging that much money is all they're going to do is get 5 guys and pay them $100 a day, and they're going to make $1,500 to do nothing. Whereas I actually referred somebody to Erica for that job, and he's probably going to charge her $15 an hour, and he'll probably knock it out in like 12 hours. It'll cost her $300.
mm-hmm.
It's unethical, and it's what makes it worse is it's us doing it to ourselves. It's not white folks doing it to us. It's us robbing each other. They're going to rob you either on the streets with a gun or in business with the invoice.
Now, let you guys know about the Todd Capital Virtual Business Conference on October 22nd. Please join us. You can find the event on Eventbrite. Just search for Todd Capital. I will drop the link in the chat. Actually, you're going to have Charles speaking on promoting your business. You're going to have Andre Hatchett speaking on streamlining your business idea. You're going to have Margie McPike, CPA, speaking on how to set up your taxes and your bookkeeping like a real business. You're going to have Crystal Perkins in there talking about how to run Facebook ads. You're going to have Michelle Welch talking about productivity like a real business owner. You're going to have Bruce Hill, aka New Skills, New You, talking about selling and sales like a professional. We're going to have Erica Williams talking about running a YouTube business for the long term. It's gonna be fire. Check the link in the bio. Check the link in the show notes. Check the link in the chat. Get your tickets now. There's early bird tickets. General admission early bird is 47. It will go up to 97 on October 1st. VIP will be 297. Right now is 147. Well, I mean, it's 197 right now for the early bird. Get your tickets. You will get 60-minute Q&A with the host and a 15-minute free consultation after the conference. Definitely Be sure to follow us on Twitter at TweetTalkPod. That's POD. Follow myself on Twitter at WorkMoneyLife. Follow Charles on Twitter at RealToddBillion. Follow us on Instagram at TweetTalkPodcast. Follow Charles on Instagram at RealToddBillion and Todd.capital. Shoot, follow us on TikTok at TweetTalkPod and at Todd.capital. Be sure to DM us on Twitter, man. Let us know what you guys want to see from the show in the future. What new segments, what new stuff going on. And I know everybody's talking about this new program from Bank of America is all over the internet. The no money down, no credit minimum if you want to buy a house in black and Hispanic neighborhoods. Everybody's talking about this. Everybody's going crazy. Some people are telling you to take advantage of it. A lot of people are telling you it's a trap. They're trying to gentrify us. Don't do it. Don't fall for it. I say do what works for you, and don't use it as an excuse to not buy property. Because we're gonna see you. We're gonna expose you. If you didn't buy a property 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and you had a different excuse, then some people had the excuse uh, in 2008, 2009, say, "Oh, the market crashed. Don't buy now. Everything's upside down." The economy came back. The same people still didn't buy. Still use another excuse. Said, "You saw what happened in 2008. Don't fall for that." Historic lows on mortgage interest rates over the last few years. People still didn't buy. Bank of America comes with this new program, and those same people are going to tell you, don't buy as a trap. Don't fall for that. Do your own research and do what works for you. If it works for you and you can afford it, then by all means, if it makes sense for you, do it, do it, do it.
Here,
Lance.
Dre, where you at, man? You in Miami?
I wish I was. I need that. That's where I need to be living. No, I'm in Atlanta.
Miami is lit. I actually got a chance to experience it. I liked it a lot. What parts do you go to when you're in Miami? Because there's like different parts. There's like the main little strip area where they got all like the flashy nightclub type stuff. They
Yeah,
also have like the other area that's like the more nice hotels.
I'm typically downtown, Wynwood, South Beach, aka Miami Beach when I go. I'm in full tourist mode. Yeah, downtown, Wynwood. Yeah, that's usually where I'm at. I just love it. It's peaceful. It's, it's like being on an island, but not.
Yeah,
I,
and the
I've been
water's very warm.
The water's warm. I've been going to Miami for like literally 20 years now, and I've never had a bad time. I need to get a condo
It's
there.
also a lot of really pretty women out there.
They're off the chains.
Like really pretty women out there. Like
They're off
it's
the
crazy.
chain. Yeah,
I
everywhere.
don't know what it is.
Welcome to our guest, our brother,
Yeah,
Leader Dre, Andre C. Hatchett, mobile notary pioneer. What's
yeah.
up, Dre?
What's up, Pimpin? In the building. What's up, Raph? What's up, Tweet Talk?
What's going
Chuck,
on?
what's up, chat? What's up? Who we got in the chat? We got Lance out there still. Shout out to the chat. Yeah, man. What's going on with you guys?
Well, Raphael is putting on a conference, bringing business like a business.
Woo, woo.
Dre will be a part of that.
I will be.
Talking about streamlining your idea.
Running your business like a business. How'd you get that idea?
Well, Marjorie always says that. So anytime I talk to, it comes up in conversation almost all the time. She's like, I'll always ask her about, what do you think about the stuff you keep seeing on Instagram, like getting a G Wag and all these tax hacks and stuff like. And she's like, I always tell people just run your business like a business, and the tax perks will come later.
Mm.
I like that. Yeah.
Run your, run your business like a business.
The
Now,
tax breaks will come later. Yep. Yeah, I dig that.
now,
I
Dre.
co-sign.
So, Charles, you had a tweet that's based on like a clip from Jay Z,
I want you to
and you
try to.
said everyone can talk. What have you done?
I used to be really big on this because what I find on Twitter, there's a lot of critics, and they're very good at being critics. Like they can narrow down all the stuff you did wrong. And the problem with that is like there's not a lot of doers that are also critics.
Mm,
Usually doers ain't spending too much time criticizing.
there's no time.
And
Mm.
so I just thought it was important to kind of like put that out there. You know, sometimes we don't give credit to a statement until Jay-Z says it. But like Jay-Z said it. I'm sure other people have said it. And I was like, this is relevant. Let me post it to the timeline. And it got a lot of spins. It really did well on Twitter. But it's true. But I think we as a culture got to start seeing that. And we got to start saying, like, man, this dude is out there trying. He's putting himself out there. It may or may not work, but he's trying. I'd rather be the dude or support the dude trying than be the person criticizing and doing nothing, building nothing, and saying nothing.
Mm.
And so I just want us as a community to start to kind of see that and value that and say, like, you know what? Despite all the obstacles, all the history, all the shortcomings, he's trying. And I admire the attempt as opposed to finding flaws in the attempt. And I think if we did that, we'd probably have a lot more solutions minded people, and a lot less people who just point out problems and point out flaws. Because even with the properties in Detroit, like the dude walks into the house and he's just talking about the problem. I'm like, bruh, I don't care. What can you do in your skills and your power to solve it? I don't want to talk about the problem because what they'll do is they'll walk in and say, man, why he do it like this? I can't believe he did it like this. Wow, this and this and this and this and this. And we spend 30 minutes just talking about the problem. And what I found is that problem solvers get paid by problem identifiers. But we tend to glorify the problem identifier. We can glorify somebody who can say, like, there's a wealth gap, or there's racism, or there's this. Like, great, you found the problem. Now solve it.
Mm.
That's the real challenge. The real challenge, the real thought comes with improving what's there, not just pointing out what's there. It doesn't take any effort or creativity to look and say the wall is brown. The creativity comes in saying, how can I make that wall blue? How can I make that wall the color I want it to be? That's the creativity. That's the innovation. That's the person who gets paid and gets rich.
That's the one who gets paid and gets rich. Now, along that line, like solving problems and like having problems, you gotta just use what you got to get what you need. Like Dre, like how long have you been? You've been an entrepreneur for probably like 10 years or so.
His whole life.
Wow.
Dre been an entrepreneur his whole life.
8, 9 years old to be count selling candy, shoveling snow, and all that good stuff.
All right, but let's say how long you've been doing the digital stuff though?
Digital entrepreneur. As far as selling my IPs, 2015. No. If we really want to go back, we go back to Buy Black NYC, 2014. Yeah. So to 13, 14, which is Buy Black NYC, which was a Black business directory from New York City. That's about 8, 9 years. With my notary company, I had to market online, so that was 2005 for that. If you count my online notary academy, 2015. So we can go with 8, 10 years.
Yeah. So the reason I asked you that,
Dre is really the pioneer of this online education stuff, man.
I would give it to Boyce, but I'll take a third or a fourth to that. I'll take a third or a fourth.
the reason I asked you that is because if you don't mind me saying, like it's like you got a kind of a speech impediment, right?
No,
But
I
you've
do.
been
Kind of.
but you but you've been making money from talking for
Yeah,
years now.
yeah.
Like that's
Interesting.
probably you never thought about this, Dre. Like you that's probably you really get most of your money. Like that's what drives most of your money.
Thank you for pointing that out. So, yes, I stutter. I used to stutter worse, but I had to get over it because when I left the full time job in 2007, 8ish, for my notary company, I had to answer the phone to get calls to go do the notary jobs. So I couldn't
Mm.
avoid talking anymore. And what happened was I just got over it. Even to the point now that, even to the point now where I forget that I have a stuttering problem unless somebody brings it up. And my boy Ricky Samuel told me the business. Shout out to Ricky. He was like, "Julia, how did you do all this stuff? What do you mean? The speeches, the books, the podcasts. What do you mean? Stuttering." I'm like, you know what? Oh shit, I forgot. But like
Too busy
Charles,
working.
too busy working. Like how Charles is very admirable. He's in Detroit fixing fucking houses. Like acre lot. I don't know you fix houses. He probably didn't know, he probably didn't know he could do it either. But it's amazing what you can do, Raph, when you give yourself no choice. So now I literally have two shows, two well produced shows, mind you. I'm on with
Mhm.
y'all right now. My other everyday shit, my classes that I teach, which is why I'm so big, Raph, on starting. I could have
Mm.
lived in my head, say, yo, I stutter, I have a list, people are gonna laugh at me and they're gonna make fun of me. But yo, I've affected a lot of people. I've affected a lot of people.
You got a whole league of notaries out there, man.
A whole league of notaries. I mean, I've I feel that I've had a positive impact on our race, Charles, and our gender. I feel very positive about
Mhm.
that. And if I would have just stayed in my head, Raph, and said, "Man, I can't do this shit, man. I'm not him or her. I'm not Jay or Boyce or any of these or any of these people. Like I can't talk like that. Who knows? Who knows what happened? But you got to just go, get better.
Yeah. Just
That's
gotta
great.
go get better. It's like I remember maybe last year I listened to one of the first 10 episodes from Tweet Talk, and I was like, man, it got so much better, so much better. And it's funny, like I think the other day I was thinking about, man, there's a huge difference in like the skill level when it comes to speaking between me and Charles. And then I was like, yeah, whatever. Then the interview I did with Erica Williams, and
Mm-hmm.
it went live on YouTube. I sent it to everybody, like, yo, check this out, watch, like,
Mm-hmm.
comment, whatever.
Yeah.
And I went back to look at the comments, and one guy was like some good information, but he's kind of like a mush mouth. And at first
Mm-hmm.
eh, I was like, yeah, kind of. And I thought about like answering him back and saying something. I was like, but you know what? I really don't care.
Man, like you got a top podcast, brother. I mean,
You got on with Erica Williams. He watching Erica Williams.
you know what I'm saying?
Mm,
I mean, Erica's made what $2-3 million at least from YouTube, at least in the past 10 years. Like, but that's the thing about life in general, right? You don't have to be perfect to have massive fucking success.
Bars.
You don't have to be number one. Yo, it's crazy how average you can be and have a positive impact and make a lot of money. So you don't have to have every chick like you for you to have a meaningful, wonderful relationship. Just one, maybe two, if
that's
that's
fine.
your thing. But they like you. You've won the dating lottery forever.
Right. And I think it's Gary V. I believe it was him. He said something like the like the 400th best NBA player makes like 800,000,
Mm-hmm.
Not even that.
and then
It's
like
like 500 or so, maybe six.
the 1,000th best entrepreneur like owns the Jets or something like something crazy like
Yeah,
that,
he's right.
or something crazy like that. Is like
He's right.
in real life, you don't have to be the best. It's cool to be the best, but you don't have to be perfect. Nobody.
These jobs are making money on your average, but telling you that you can't make money because you're not perfect.
I mean, Charles, like how many houses have you rehabbed before?
Too damn many. Honestly, if I
Well,
look at it, and
well,
what's
I
crazy?
think he means the ones that you actually did with your hands.
Oh, with my bare hands?
Well, I mean with your the way you actually did the
Oh,
work
yeah,
physically.
yeah, yeah, yep.
Probably. I never really did it. Like this is the first one outside of like some like rent turns. So like everything else have been paying other people to do it. But I came out here about 6 months ago because some tenants had destroyed a property, and the bids I was getting back was just insane. They wanted like 7K, 8K, 9K. Everything in Detroit just costs so much more money now. And I was like, I'm not paying that much money for some stuff. So I came out here, I put the floors in, painted the walls, and it looks good. And so this is like the first flip level renovation, but renovations, we've been doing that since we started, except for the first property because that was like more turnkey because we're afraid, like the goal, like everybody's like so afraid of all these different problems. Like, oh my God, there's a hole in the wall. What are we gonna do? And so like the first property was turnkey. We came in, we cleaned the floors, took out the junk, put a tenant in there. The second property required a little bit more rehab. That was more like cosmetic rehab, so floors, paint, that kind of stuff. Third property was a little bit heavier rehab. I forget which one that was, but then the fourth, like the fifth property was Oakman, and Oakman was like a land bank property. It looked like it was like
It was a
not
shit show. Yeah. Oakland was a shit show.
yeah, and so Oakman looked like it was just like gone for naught, like not going to be able to be done, and it ended up turning out to be a great property. And through that, I learned that like you can really renovate anything. Anything can be made better.
Yep.
And so after Oakman then took on a fire damage property, I just was like, nah, like it can be fixed. It doesn't matter. And
That's Brown, right?
Fixed. That's no Brown place is still sitting there in vacant status. That's a heavy rehab.
Okay.
But that was actually Tracy. So Tracy was a burnout property. Both of them actually had fire damage. Both of them had fire damages, but one was a little bit more minor fire damage, but still had to be repaired. New roof, new framing up top, all that stuff. So basically, I've done like 4 or 5 properties.
It's amazing what we could do when we give ourselves no choice. And I just feel bad for the people because years goes by and they didn't write a book. They didn't launch the course because they afraid that someone would call them a scammer. They're just afraid. They didn't approach the girl at the bar because she was hot. Fam, like people are missing out on sex, on love, on money, on impact, out of fear. When I don't know about y'all, but I get over rejection. I forget. I literally forget. I was approaching. I hollered at one chick, and she wasn't interested. And I was looking at. I think I was looking at her. I was like, "Man, she's cute. Let me holler at her." I was like, "Oh shit, I did holler. She didn't like me." And I just forgot about it. Like, I only need one yes. And people are so stuck in the past and shit that didn't work. I get it. Shit hurts. I've been there. I've been there. But man, do people care about legacy? Do people care about life after they are gone? Come on, man. Come on.
And Charles, this is on the same line. Charles, you had a tweet where you said one lie told to the black community is that God is going to do everything for you. God is waiting on you.
Whew. I forgot where I was, but I might have been listening to some gospel music.
Hallelujah.
And I don't know. I grew up in a house where, like, I wouldn't say I grew up in a house like this, but I went to a church like this where we talked about wealth. Really, we did. I went to a prosperity preaching church. But like they never taught them how to get prosperity outside of giving to the church. And I always thought that was like kind of interesting. And so we go through situations in like the black community And everybody's like, well, God's going to solve our problems. God's going to do this. God's going to do this. And we don't ever look inside of ourselves. In fact, we kind of think that we can't do it. So much so that, like, that's why we put all our faith in God, because we feel like we can't do it. And unfortunately, we end up being left with nothing, because God's waiting on us, firstly, but also, like, in this realm, it is up to us. And so by turning it over, we end up not accomplishing anything. And so I've seen people, very, very religious people, who died with nothing, but they were just waiting on God their whole life. Very religious, very spiritual, in church, at Bible study, at
all that
choir rehearsal, doing everything. And like, it never panned out for them. And so I just had this thought where it's like, man, like, what are you gonna do to improve your situation? What are we going to do to improve our situation? I'm still a big proponent of teamwork. I think teamwork is going to help us get to that point, because in a lot of it, you have to collaborate. It's so funny. You see these properties in Detroit, and you have two different types of crews. You have the black crews, where it's like one dude trying to do everything himself. And the Mexican dudes, it's like 5 dudes on the same task. You know what happens when you have 5 dudes on the same task? It's easier on everybody.
Yeah.
And you still get the same thing accomplished. You get it accomplished faster. It's way more efficient, and you can take on more jobs. Whereas with us and our one-man crews, we get overwhelmed with one job. And so then we have to charge more for that one job. And so now you're overcharging your customer because you don't have enough customers. If you had more customers, you could be more fair. But you don't have enough customers, so now you got to tax every single person you come across. You make your money at scale. You're not making your money on one transaction. So I think we can do better. Anything that I say isn't to like condemn us. It's like, all right, brother, there's a better way. I know you want to do it this way. I know you want to be the individual, the strong, independent person who don't need no partner. But if you had 4 partners, EYL, we were talking about this, and I put out the tweet, and I was talking about how, like, MG the mortgage guy got a part of working with EYL.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, they're like, no, I'm not going to work with EYL. I'm going to do my own thing. In hindsight, everybody could say, like, you should work with EYL, but EYL wasn't always that. They weren't always that. They started with the iPhone. He had to believe that they would take their iPhone to the big stage. You got to have belief in what whoever is building is going to build it. We don't believe that, but also not knowing that EYL also needed MG.
Bingo.
We all need each other. It all lines up. It all fits together. We got to start approaching it that way. EYL can't become EYL without MG, without Wall Street Travel, without Ian Dunlap. They need all those. But Ian Dunlap and MG the mortgage guy at Wall Street Travel also benefit by being a part of EYL. So I benefit from Raphael rocking with the brand. Raphael benefits from rocking with the brand. And we both grow bigger because we rock with the brand. We just got to stay down. I went off on a tangent.
That's what the show is about.
You're kicking. I mean, it's sweet talk.
That's what the show is about, man.
I mean, how many people heard our Black Man Building Wealth Conference? People still talk about it.
That's dope. And they wanted to come back too.
We got to do it.
They wanted to come back.
We got to do it. Yeah, but I mean, it's our best work has been, all right, let's just throw a date. Let's throw a date and an Eventbrite out there. And let's just rock. And EYL now, of course, like that's not an average brand, of course, but they literally started with iPhones in the kitchen. And now they're doing tours across the world, selling them out, making millions of dollars out of best minimum, partnerships with Steve Harvey, interviewing Tyler Perry, who doesn't even do fucking interviews. But it all starts. So, you know, I have this mix, right, Raph, of practicality and delusion.
Okay.
Practicality, keep it simple, go all in on this. But then I have to have the slight bit of delusion to say that, man, I can do this shit.
Right.
I call my show a top 10 podcast. I gotta have that delusion.
But you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy, Andre?
Uh-huh.
When you call your stuff a top 10 podcast, people get out of the way.
Yes.
They're like,
wow.
oh, top 10 podcast. I don't even want to compete anymore. They got it. So it's like you psych yourself out and you also push people out of the way. They're like, man, he coming. He bringing that energy. He bringing that heat.
I mean, and here's the thing, right? I have to believe it. Why not? That's always been my thing. Is why
Shoot,
not?
I believed it. I was like, damn, Dre got there fast.
I'm gonna do it. It's bound to happen. If I do enough reps, it's really about post production. Here's the thing: people don't know. A top podcast is about post production, which is timely, it's expensive, but your post production matters. How many clips can you get up? Can you get the best sound bites and clips? Can you get someone to come in there with edits? Like y'all Dr. Kimbrough interview, like there should be at least 15 clips from that flowing.
Yeah, we need more. We dropped the ball on that.
I mean, but here's the thing: we're not dead.
That's true. You can still pull the content out of the content.
It's never going anywhere. That's the thing. You could go back to this is why I'm so big on fucking Star. You can go back to the archives, have someone say, hey, look, I need 15 clips, give me 3 a week, yada, 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 bam. We just gotta keep going, man. We just gotta keep going.
Everybody needs a Dre in their life, man. Because no matter what level you at, he gonna tell you to do better.
If I like them. I gotta like them. I gotta like them. If I like you, I'll push you.
I think that's something that people don't realize. Like, they get pushed and they think like, this dude is a jerk. He don't like me or whatever. It's like, dude, if I didn't like you, I wouldn't even talk to you.
Bingo.
I wouldn't care if you were standing next to the street like destitute. Like,
I only push people I like, man.
Like, if I like you so much to tell you do better, that means I want you to do better because I want you to do better. If I didn't care, I wouldn't say nothing at all.
Bingo.
Now, I'm glad you hopped on.
I ordered some food from Sweetwater Tavern. It's a black-owned restaurant. They have delicious food. But they forgot my cheesecake. I don't think they forgot my cheesecake. I think the Uber person forgot my cheesecake.
Yeah, that happens.
So now I got to report it missing because that's the best part. They have this sweet potato cheesecake. That thing is delicious.
I love a good cheesecake. I do
sweet
love a good
potato cheesecake.
Sweet potato cheesecake, Raphael. It's delicious. It's the most.
That
was what I was looking forward to the most, and it didn't come. So now I got to report it missing, and I'm got to go to the restaurant myself and get it.
You could
eventually.
You could still call the dude and say like, yeah, I think.
I don't know if I have their number.
You call it to the Uber, yeah. You can still do it.
Let me see.
How many close?
If the Uber driver is still working, like he's still driving, you can call him and say, "Yo, you forgot. You might have my cheesecake in your car."
I don't know how to find
but
it. Man.
I'm glad. Go to past orders or something. I'm glad Dre is on for this episode because Charles, you had a tweet, and Charles had a tweet where he said one of the biggest wealth killers is not wanting to look broke, and the reason I'm glad you're on, Dre. Cause Dre always stay fly. Dre always had me mad because
what is the Yano gear?
Yes, there's a black-owned clothing company called Diano. Every time I would see something on his website that I like,
yeah, I was a frequent buyer.
I would pop up on Instagram and see there's Dre wearing the damn shirt.
That's funny.
Oh man. But how do you balance that, man? One of the biggest wealth killers is not wanting to look broke, but you still gotta look good, man. How do you
So,
balance that?
different people have different objectives in life, right? Some people are going to be
Mm-hmm.
hardcore cheap, and they're going to invest all their money, save all their money, and not live a little bit. I tried that. That's not really my swag. So for me, is of course all the bills have to be paid before I do anything. I don't even leave the house if it's not there. Um, all the bills are paid, staff is paid, put money in the retirement account. Then I have fun with the excess. Some people have fun and then they'll figure out the rest.
Mm.
For me, I have assets. I've been doing this shit for a while. So I'm able to do certain things at this time. I also do have times where I can't do certain things or choose not to. So I had a June. I didn't really do anything. I hardly even left the house in June. July, mid July, August, had a lot of fun. Went away on rooftops. Did a whole bunch of cool top floor Dre shit then. But there's times I fall back. It balances itself out. It balances itself out. Now, I also the only Gucci thing I have is a birthday gift that Charles bought me. That's the only Gucci thing I got. But um, I do look good because I'm on camera a lot. Like I'm on camera a lot, a whole lot. So there is something to look in the part because I sell shit. People
Right.
want to buy from people that they either admire how they look, what they do, and I do a combination of both. So you kind of got to look to a certain point, have certain things going for you to get people to buy from you.
Yeah. So I'm glad you brought this tweet up, Raphael, because
Mm-hmm.
it needs more color. And so the real thought and the reason why I tweeted this is because I have a habit of not asking the prices of things. And I realized that I do it not asking the price of things and also over tipping.
I overtip too. Yeah.
And sometimes I don't ask the price because I don't want to seem like the price is an issue.
Uh,
And sometimes when I go to different golf courses, what the tee time says on the app and what the tee time they charge me are sometimes different. And so sometimes I don't make a big deal about it because I don't want to like seem broke. I don't seem like I can't afford to golf there. And so when I was making that point, what I was saying is that sometimes we can go broke because we don't want to make it seem like we don't have it.
yeah.
And so, but also making it seem like you're actually caring about your money is actually just an intelligent thing to do financially.
Yep.
It's like, no, it said $50. Why are you charging me $80 now? And so, like, that's a big difference. That's $30. But do you really want to make a big stink out of $30? Well, not if you think it's going to make you feel broke or look broke. And so sometimes I just overlook it. But that's $30. That used to be a lot of work, you know? And so that was what I was really saying. I wasn't saying go out dressing like a bum. I wasn't saying like don't look good, that kind of stuff. I was just saying
Right.
like minding your money. Sometimes you can overlook certain things because you don't want to seem like you don't have it, and then you could actually be slowly eroding away your wealth. That was just one way. Another way is I know people who they do things to impress other people because they don't want to look broke. And so they'll buy clothes or they'll wear things. Or like if there's an event coming up, they have to buy a brand new outfit for that because they don't want people to think that they're broke. Meanwhile, they actually are broke. There's a lot of people who are doing things to not look broke and they're broke. And so like that was another thing that I was thinking of. And then the last thing is just like the whole like online, you see a lot of people like calling people broke because they don't want to spend their money on them or
Yes.
like
Guilt.
right, or you don't got no money because you don't give me your money.
Nah, he's don't want
And people fall into that trap all the time. There's dudes in credit card debt right now because they're trying to make some woman think that they actually had it. My perspective is, don't go broke trying to not look broke for a woman who's broke. Because if she wasn't broke, she wouldn't be on your neck like that.
Yo,
If she could afford to live the lifestyle that she wants, she would not be leaning on you so hard. But they ain't got it.
the brokest woman want the dudes to spend the most. The woman who have money, they still want you to spend, but not as much as the broke chicks. Right? And they mastered the traditional, when it's one-sided traditionalism.
I like that definition, that new term.
It's one-sided because
one-sided traditionalism.
The traditional, I mean, like your ass wouldn't all be out everywhere in every picture if you were traditional. I mean, it's fine if you want to do it. I mean,
you wouldn't have a roster if you were traditional.
You wouldn't be doing a lot of things if you weren't traditional. But I'm traditional. Nah, fam, you are one-sided traditional. You are one-sided old-fashioned. Again, which is fine, but call it what it is. So yes, I am not an advocate of men overspending to impress women, and I'm really direct in my dealing. So I ask them, like, what do you expect? What are you willing to do? And a lot of women don't like going over numbers. Well, I never thought about that. I don't know. Well, let me know. Let's have an adult conversation about the expectation and about the numbers, because I want to see where you're at, and I just want to be upfront and tell you what I'm not willing to do and what I am willing to do, and we'll see if that works for each other. But yes, do not go broke for a broke woman, or any woman in general. It doesn't make sense. Now do shit. If you want to do shit, but have a limit. Have a limit. And if they're not okay with that, find someone who is. Hardcore advocate on that.
It's interesting times in these dating streets. Women are very vocal about what they require, and there's a lot of beef going on in these streets. How do we solve the relationship beef between black women, black men?
Are you dating, Raph? Are you in a relationship, or you
no, I'm not dating right now.
Okay.
He has his eye on a few.
Okay.
He has his eye on one.
Nice. I hope that works out.
I'm hoping it works out too, man.
So, yo,
this guy, man.
I was talking to one of my friends about this. I said, yo, people have changed in the past 5 or 6 years. Once the people, I'm talking about women in general, because I'm a gay woman. There's been a shift, and I can't put my finger on it, but there's been a shift. I don't know if it's YouTube, I don't know if it's dating coaches, I don't know if it's the music, but there's been a shift. There was never this blatant, over the top, proud selfishism going on. Like loud and proud selfishism. And I'm like, damn, where did this come from? Like, not overt, no shame, one-sidedness. And I'm like, yo, what is this? Of course, it's not all women. I don't even know if it's most, but there's been a shift. So how do we fix it? Man, I know people who are leaving the country to go find chicks.
I heard that too.
I know people, I know them pretty well, who are going to different countries to go find chicks, to go find women who are really traditional. Now, I know people here who meet great women like you, Charles, and then 90% of our inner circle is either in a long-term relationship or married. So love is here. There are very high-quality women here. But some dudes just want to increase their odds and meet a bunch of chicks who have these qualities. So they're trying to pick through a few. And honestly, man, I don't knock it. I don't knock people who are exploring their options, who are going to get with an Afro-Colombian chick or Afro-Brazilian chick, and then we're just like, man, fuck it. I'm going to just find someone who just on a different wavelength. So It's going to take time because it's just gotten worse. This is going to be a long term. It's going to be a long term thing, man. Here's what I would say:
Mm-hmm.
is people should, if they have somebody decent, stay. Don't let the stay.
Don't be out there in these streets.
This goes for women and men. Stay. If you're dating somebody and they have 70, this is a Kevin Samuels quote. How many of you guys know that I knew him?
I think about her. I know. Erica said she was close with him. So
him and Erica were friends. Him and I weren't friends, but I moderate it still, and I moderated his Facebook group, The Mix. Which, so if you watch his videos, he talks about me a lot. Because I was the first. Me and the woman were the first couple in his Facebook group, The Mix, and he would always talk about it. And he said he said something to me. He said, "If you get someone who has 70% of what you're looking for, you want." I think that will help people to become more realistic. You got 70%. All right, let's go do the damn thing, and let's get out the game.
I honestly feel like a relationship can kind of work with any two people if they have the right mindset.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
And we see it all the time when I watch this show with my wife called Married at First Sight. And the people who stick it out are the people who go in there with the right mindset. The people who are like, you know what? I want to be married. And she's like, I want to be married too. And they just ebb and flow with the problems and the wins that they had. And so I don't know. I find it interesting. I've always thought that because my parents were divorced. And so like my parents were divorced. And so I grew up and I was like, you know what? I don't want to go through that. It's not always easy.
No, it's not.
It's not always easy.
No. Your parents are divorced, but they both. I don't know if they both remarried, but they both were in relationships, though, right? Or are in, or were in.
You know what's interesting is I always have this thought, but my mom's, of course, remarried, but my dad, he remarried and got re-divorced.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a really big hack for me is marrying a woman who had parents who stayed together.
Huge hack.
Because I put it on Twitter. I was like, when I be wanting to call it quits, she'd be like, "Not around here, bro." She's like, "Not around here." Oh man.
And that's what you call not having an ego.
Yeah.
That's what you call not having an ego. It literally takes one person, hopefully both, but usually one person in the marriage who says, this has to work. We're going to be bored. I'm not even going to talk to you for about a couple of days, but I'm going to be here. And I'm not going to go bang somebody else. I'll be here. I'm going to TGI Fridays. I'm not talking to you, but I'm going to bring you some chicken fingers. All right? I'll leave it in the kitchen. But it takes this almost stubborn, I'm not going anywhere in this. And I'm not a believer in overly romanticizing relationships anymore. One of my issues before, I might have tried to over romanticize love. Marrying for love is a new concept. It's a brand new concept. People used to never do that. Of course you want it. Of course it's ideal. But fam, people marry for practicality. Does this work? Does this work enough? And we'll grow into shit. So yeah. You know what, Raph? I have a question for you, Raph. You were legally married on paper, right?
Yeah.
Would you get married again through the state?
Yeah, I'm not against it. No. Yeah.
I don't know if I would.
Okay.
I'm actually going to be on the Hardly Initiated podcast. Have y'all seen that before?
I think I might have seen them on TikTok.
Okay. Yeah. Two brothers out here, really good doing real estate guys as well. And we talked about it. And I said, you know what? I don't think I will. I'll do everything else, the wedding, all that stuff. And we could have our own agreement. But I really want to stop working at 45. I don't want to have to work past 45. So I don't know if I want to put that much risk out there. We'll see.
Okay. I think part of solving the problem is get people off of the internet. Like
Yeah.
it's not real life, man. People gotta understand that this stuff is not real life. And
Mm-hmm.
like a lot of times you'll see people say like, "Where are y'all finding these people?" Because they're here in the streets, like real life. Like you're not like that. Like
Mm.
It's made people delusional, and it's made people think they have more options than they really do.
Yeah. I think who said that? I think somebody said that. Is like it makes you think you have more options than you really have. Yeah. It's because like the crazy yeah, there's a lot to go down there. But like the person's in your DMs is in everybody's DMs. It don't take much effort to copy and paste a text. It don't make much effort to like post emoji eyes. Like you don't got to go out no more. You just got to just scroll the gram.
And it gets people, I think, more women than men. Okay, I don't have to go through this with you because I can get with him, but he likes you a little bit, but that other guy, he's really into you.
Yeah,
So it allows you to feel you don't have to work through stuff as much because you can just get with someone else.
yeah,
But you said this, Charles, and this was real. You said something along the lines of you have so much ego that you're not going to fix the stuff that they want you to fix, but you'll fix it for the next person.
that's
Something along those lines. I was like, damn, that's true. So much pride, you won't fix the shit that she wants you to fix, but you'll fix it for the next person.
that's some old school tweets right there.
Yeah, that was real. That was real.
He's
Yeah.
like he's pulling a Raphael on me right now.
That's the whole school.
that's the hype fury. Now, Charles, you said if you're a black and you innovate, you're called a scammer. If you're white and you innovate, you're called a founder.
Uh-oh.
I forgot the direct example that came from, but it's just always interesting to me when I see like white people do shit and get funding, and then like we do some shit and it's called ghetto. And they said that like it's ghetto until it's like stolen by white folks. Now it's hot. Now everybody wearing dirty Air Force Ones. Did you know it's a trend for white girls to wear dirty Air Force Ones?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, like it's a big thing. Like in Southern California, like white girls get Air Force Ones. It's even on TikTok. Like it's a big thing. My niece has dirty Air Force Ones, and I bought them clean. She made them dirty, but I don't know. I've just been finding that it's just interesting because I've just noticed as things evolve in the black economy, what kind of frustrates me is I used to be big on black wealth. We need to build black wealth, and we need black businesses only for folks to build black businesses and then get slandered. And I was like, man, this sucks. Like all the stuff we thought we needed, we're just like destroying with our own hands. And I didn't know what to make of it. Like at that point, it just became like I just got to take care of my family. Like that's the only thing I could really reconcile with that, because the people that you're trying to help are the same people that try to like tear you down. And so I just thought that it was an old tweet. That's some hype fury tweet. Like for real, for real. I just literally just reposted it from my hype fury. It wasn't like a hype fury retweet. It was like a hype fury. Like I posted it for my hype fury. But that's just where I'm at. The word scam gets thrown around a lot.
If you're black and you sell shit, non-physical, it's a scam. If you sell t-shirts, it's not a scam. If you sell sweatshirts, it's not a scam. Anything intellectual property or time, if it takes your time, it's a scam, because there's a certain percentage of us who feels like you have to just give shit. If you're black, oh, just give. But the person who you're giving to can pay someone white or anybody else, or go to Applebee's, or have new sneakers. But you got to just avoid the sick people, man. And there's a lot of them, and they're loud. But you got to avoid the sick people. There's some people who aren't going to come with us. I want to respond to brother in the chat, Albert Myers. He said, I'm struggling to find a well-staffed black crew here in Jersey. A shout out to brother Myers. He has a property management company. So here's the thing. Never let your company fall because you can't find a black staff.
Oh, that's a bar.
Right? You'll find very few people in the world who are more pro-black than me, right? But you do not let your income or your quality of business fall behind it. and that's it. It could be your first option, even your second option. But you have to see that's the thing as well, because we're held to a higher standard as Black owned businesses that we have to have everything perfect, right? McDonald's could fuck up, but if Harold's fucks up, it's a whole different ballgame. So do not let your business suffer because you can't find a Black staff. No, keep your standard high because we have to have it there. So
Dre's like a prophet, man. He like
old age.
I think I know everything, and then Dre says stuff. I'm like, I never thought about that. Like, man,
the ability to keep it simple. The ability to keep it simple.
Man, I've been thinking I know everything.
You want more kids, Chuck?
I think so.
Okay.
I do think so. Like, we're not like actively trying, only because she's still on birth control. So like after we had our first son, she went on birth control for like it's like 3-year stint.
Okay.
So I think she was trying to figure out if she wanted to have more than one.
Gotcha.
But I think she does.
Okay.
Yeah. We love our son. He's a lot.
He's 3?
He's 2.5.
2.5. Okay.
He's a lot, but it's manageable.
Okay.
So yeah, we could have one more and help a friend he can play with. That'd be it. Then we have a real family. Like, I mean, it's cool when you got one kid.
Yeah.
Got 2 kids. It's like, bro, we out here like full on dad mode. Like all the cool dad stuff. I'm definitely doing it.
Is your wife still out the 9 to 5? Does she ever go back to work?
My wife literally has no plans to ever go back to a job. Like she hasn't even thought about it.
It's not even an option.
Oh man, that means I gotta work nonstop.
Do you? I don't know if you don't have to answer this if you don't want to. Do you guys have a budget of money that you give to her, or does she get dividend money? How do you guys do that?
It's all out of a joint account.
Okay, cool.
So, like, it's all out of a joint account.
Is there a limit that she?
Well, she doesn't really spend money like that, and if like anything that's really bought, like usually I like take care of it, I guess.
Okay.
So like she's not like just out like shopping and doing all kind of stuff. So
that's cool.
Yeah, but I mean, at one point in time, before like I kind of got heavy into the project, like she was getting a like actual salary from the company.
Okay.
So like that's what she was kind of using for her own stuff, and she probably still has a bunch of money saved up from that too.
That's what's up.
It's funny, what you were saying earlier, Drake. You were just saying like if you selling like intellectual property, digital course or something, you get called a scammer. And it's funny, I seen like people will promote their stuff, and there's people will literally say like we can see when somebody trying to pay their rent. And it's like, wow.
It's there's a certain segment of people who aren't very sophisticated, man, and the thing is they'll spend money on everything else. That's the thing. It's not that they don't have Jordans. It's not like they don't take vacations. There's just a certain segment of people when it only comes to intellectual property.
Because they can't wear it.
That might be it.
They can't floss on the ground.
It's how it's almost like they're offended that you're selling it. Like you're going to charge me to you on the phone? Yes. They're just there, and sometimes a lot of times they have the money, but there's just this ego barrier that says, "Why am I paying you? I can't fathom paying you for X, Y, Z." And I don't know many people in general. Well, of course, most people I know are Black. Well, I don't know many people in general who make over $250 a year who don't spend money on some form of coaching, IP, paid workshops, or conferences. I don't know. Everybody who we know who makes over $250, they usually have some kind of coach or something going on. So, man, they're just going to be left behind.
Plus, another thing is like, a lot of black folks don't like the idea of you getting rich off in quote unquote getting rich off them.
Yeah, even though even though with the information, if they take it and apply it, they'll make money too, right? It's a one-sided. It's like the fake traditionalism thing with the chicks. It's a one-sided transaction.
That's so true. It's funny because I was thinking about that too, just in terms of like rental properties, because it seems like tenants, they don't like the fact that you make money from them living in the home, even though they live in the home.
It's wild.
Yeah, it's like
Mhm.
you could just not live in the home, and I won't make no money, but you be homeless. So what we gonna do?
Yeah.
But I think that it is an issue to be addressed, and so one of my thoughts was to like I feel like so this is kind of a I wouldn't say it's a complicated thought, but so one of the thoughts that I was having is that like I don't know if in other communities they rent from their own. I think that they might sell to their own, and then you have a community of homeowners, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so my thought was like, you know what? Maybe it makes sense to, as opposed to renting to them, you just sell it to them and then you become the bank because it's seller financed and then you receive payments, which is effectively the same thing as still being their landlord. You still get monthly payments, you have less responsibilities. And so what happens is in other communities, they still have the same dynamics, they just advertise it differently. I'm not your landlord. I'm just the lender.
That could work. That could work.
And so,
They still
yeah,
gonna look at it as you making money off them.
right. It's like I'm not your boss. You're a manager. Congrats on being a
A
manager.
complainer is going to find a way to complain. I do think that is a good model, and I do think everyone benefits with that model. But if someone wants to complain to family, they're just going to complain.
Yeah.
There's. I had a guy. I had a free workshop up on one of the portals. You could check it out, see if you like me, see if you like the program, yada yada yada. First of all, he kept on losing his fucking login information, which if it's cheap or if it's free, they're going to lose their login information more than people who pay more money. All right?
Yeah.
That's one. They're also going to do stupid ass chargebacks, which is why I raised all my prices, by the way. All of them. All right, so that's that. He says something along the lines of, he sees all the testimonials. He asks, can he talk to them?
Wow. That's some weirdo stuff right there. He's trying to ask for the information.
I told my my EA, which is my executive assistant, Mara. Hey, Mara. I said, please take down that free webinar. Please take that. He's like, and then he said, I know the payments are XYZ. Can I pay XYZ? I said, no. I said, no more of this bullshit. If people can't meet me at my price, they can't happen. Because the amount of bullshit you go through to try to meet people where they are, I'm just past it, and I don't need the money anymore. So you gotta meet me. You gotta meet me where I'm at, fam. You gotta meet me. And we see people talk about high ticket, low ticket. A lot of times they go higher ticket just to avoid a certain amount of bullshit. I think that's the sole reason, because you deal with certain things a whole lot less.
Right.
I'm like, what are you talking? Yo, I had a lady. I have a bomb ass science confidence course, $100, like literally 46 plus hours on how to notarize documents, step by step by step by step. I taught probably half of it. I paid other people to come and teach it. Like literally, you learn how to notarize all documents, damn near all documents in that course. A lady, I had a promo for $100. She came in. She couldn't find her login information. Go figure. Filed the dispute, right? Which I don't contest disputes. I'm like, all right, just take your money and go, because I offer refunds anyway. I don't know why you filed a dispute. then tried to log in the course and emailed me and said, "Hey, I can't log in."
Wow.
Like, Trick, I see you. Like, I saw the whole scheme.
That's crazy.
And I said, you know what? You filed a dispute, which we didn't contest. You have been denied access. And she said, okay, she said, okay, sorry. I couldn't log in, so I filed a dispute. I'm like, no. You're a professional bad customer. And then she said, I'm going to go to my other platform and sign up. And that's why I said, yo, I'm keeping the prices high.
A professional bad customer.
She's a professional bad because she had the whole thing planned out. You filed the dispute. We don't fight it. You then try to go back and log in?
Bad customers exist. Everybody thinks that it's just the business owner. But
black business, nigga. Black customers. Some of them are terrible, which is why I'm only bringing this up to tell you about your point is, if you're going to do it for somebody, don't do it because they're complaining about paying rent. Do it for somebody who wants to buy a house.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Dre.
Who does that?
So, Charles, you said in a culture that glamorizes bullshit, the best thing you can do in high school and college is be lame.
So I was having a conversation with my photographer, who actually I went to high school with.
The best thing you could do.
And she was telling my wife about like my high school experience. And I didn't really have the best high school experience for a few reasons.
Mm-hmm.
But I got the best life. And so I was like, maybe being the coolest person in high school is overrated. Because who are you trying to be cool for and with? A bunch of losers who are not going to amount to nothing, who couldn't take the high school exit exam. I took the high school exit exam and I did what I had to do.
It ain't no maybe, man. It ain't no maybe.
So that's all I was saying. That's a clip. I'm putting that on Facebook so they can see it. No, I'm not going to do that.
But what's funny is how people base literally 4 years of their existence, and they use it to carry through the whole life. Typically, the coolest people in high school are the biggest losers in real life after high school and immediately after high school.
Yeah.
Dang.
It's not like the mid-20s. No, it's a cliff. Be lame, fam. Be lame, be boring. And the rest of the world is yours, fam. Yeah. College is yours, grad school.
The interesting thing about it though is that like lameness is subjective. I have a cousin and young dude, his mom put him in school in a part of San Diego where it's just nothing but Filipinos. And he's one of my probably the most recent of my only, like, I would say second cousin. My only second cousin, which is a second cousin is what my cousin's son, right? He'd be a second cousin, I think. Let's just call it a second cousin. He's my only second cousin who's gone to college. Straight to college. Like from high school to college, just because he was in a different environment. And he was in an environment where they value taking AP classes and playing like actual dope sports and doing like cool things. So if you go to a school with a bunch of kids whose fathers play golf, it's actually not lame to play golf. If you go to a school with a bunch of kids whose fathers don't exist, now they're gonna be looking at you like, why you want to play golf? That's for white people.
Yeah.
And so lameness is subjective. So if you're in an environment, and the way my high school is situated, you had cross-pollination. So you had kids from one side of the tracks going to school with the other side of the tracks. And so you're going to be lame to the kids on the other side of the tracks. But you're doing all the things you're supposed to be doing. Nobody in my high school was taking AP classes. I was taking AP classes. But I wasn't actually able to fit in with those people because that's what I value. I was an avid. I was in classes that were pushing you towards college. And so that's all I'm saying is I don't want to like glamorize myself in this moment. What I want to say is that lameness is subjective. Lameness is predicated based on who you're around. So get around people where what you actually aspire to do and have is actually looked highly upon. Get around environments where they value investing. Get around environments where they value in entrepreneurship. Get around environments where they value selling and marketing and advertising and promoting your value. Because if you are somebody who's doing those things around people who work jobs and stay with their job and don't value entrepreneurship, they're going to think that you're crazy for trying to do those things. Whereas we're going to think you're crazy for not doing those things. If you get around Andre and you start saying that you're not going to promote your value, you're not going to create that course, you're not going to start that business, you're going to be like, you whack.
Wanting to fit in with people who are, I'm going to just say it raw, wanting to fit in with people who are beneath us is one of the worst things that us as Black people ever did. We want to fit in with people who are on our level and who are beneath us morally, financially, socially, more morally than anything, to be honest with you. It is, if you think about it, it's wild.
When you put it that way.
Yeah, that's crazy. Why you put it like that, man?
I'm old. I'm just raw.
The thing is I feel like sometimes we don't see that they're beneath us because they look like us.
Not every.
And
Tim Jackson says nigga culture isn't Black culture.
That's interesting.
Tim Jackson. Y'all know him, the great Tim Jackson. N-word culture is not Black culture. It's N-word culture. There's a difference. And he says we have to separate ourselves. Yeah. We don't have to be dragged into everything that some people do, fam.
And it's funny because Charles had a tweet where he was saying, like, what do boys who don't have fathers mimic unintentionally? Their mothers, the streets, rappers. Like, that's like the worst thing. Copying rappers, talking about their old life in the streets that they don't do anymore, hopefully.
Copying rappers is wild. It's a wild thing, but they were, which is why we are so important, which is why rap, which you asked earlier about coming online and all that stuff, which is why, that's why I got online. I didn't see a lot of positive Black images who I also thought were cool, but not street, right? Like you could be cool and not be street. Some people think street is cool. I think there's a whole gray area that's cool. And that's why I got up, because I didn't just want to be the person who's saying, well, he should do this, he should do that, she should do that. I said, well, I'm putting my voice out there. And I got on YouTube and built websites and hooked up with voice and just started talking my shit.
Hey, I just remember you had like a free like online course. Was it Black Men United or not?
Yeah, no, that was it. Yeah. We had a program geared towards Black Men United. Yeah. We had free workshops, free trainings, gatherings, talks. It was dope. Yeah, damn, I did a lot of stuff.
I was like, oh yeah, now I remember.
Yeah, wow, I totally forgot about that. And every now and then someone brings it up. That's the thing about life, is you never know the impact you have on someone else. And the thing that you might forget about, because I've had a few people tell me, man, that was dope, man. Like we really appreciated that. You never know. You never know how you can impact somebody, man.
Yep.
I gotta go through my emails.
You're a part of that, Raphael?
I had just joined. It was a couple of years ago. I just saw it. I was like, this looks interesting.
Black Men United.
It was more like, I don't know if he had a group or what, but it was like kind of like a free email course almost, something like that.
Yeah. It was on Teachable. We had a portal. We recorded the workshops and we talked about different stuff, relationship stuff, business stuff. We provided options for people who had a criminal record, business to get into. I think I even funded some of them. We even had talked about domestic violence, about people who were abused and abusers. And that was wrong, because a lot of people don't talk to former abusers because we look at them as bad people, which is fair. But they need reform too. Like we need to hear what caused them to do these things. And when I say abuse, I don't mean sexual abuse, I mean physical or verbal abuse. So yeah, but we had some deep conversations. We had some really, really deep dialogue there, and it was great to just have brothers talk in a private setting. Um, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Man, you just brought up, man, made me think of this guy on YouTube. I discovered him through Erica Williams, Diamond Dave. I watched a video of his the other day where he talks about Kevin Samuels. This is after he passed away.
Yeah.
And he was saying that one of the reasons that Kevin Samuels blew up so much was because for so long, and it's still going on, people have been basically telling black men, like, just shut up, like, we don't want to hear anything that you have to say.
Yeah, that's exactly why.
You know what's interesting about that whole dynamic? I'm finding is like a lot of times men can say something, but we don't accept it until a woman says it.
Yep. Black society is the only matriarchal where women run things, right? Matriarchal, patriarchal. Yeah. Black community, the Black American community is the only matriarchal society. So where woman's voice and where women overwhelmingly are the spokesmen and the leaders of the community.
Yeah.
So with Kevin, even though a lot of people don't agree with his message, and I can see what they're saying with that one, or his tone, more or less. Okay, cool, we can grant that. But was he wrong? He told people in general, know where you rank. Get somebody. You'll probably wind up with someone who fits in your ranking. He told that to chicks and dudes.
Yeah, it's like, what's wrong with that? I don't understand what's wrong with.
What's wrong with getting someone in your lane? Oh my God! How dare you tell me that I probably can't get someone better looking than me? You probably can't.
Right. You probably have more success rate if you were to stay in your lane. But you keep
and have a great life, fam. We have a whole group of people. I was in a relationship of people who took his words and ran with them, and people got engaged. And I don't know if people got married yet.
That's cool. Fam, that's cool.
Impact, change.
Raph,
we're gonna wrap it up.
It's even getting late for me, and I'm on West Coast time, kind of, sort of still. Well, I don't know how y'all do it. It's late.
When are you leaving Detroit?
Friday night. Okay, cool. Yeah, I pushed it to Friday night. I got to get back in town, but what's interesting is we're actually going out of town for my wife's birthday, like on Wednesday. So I get home, stay for like a few days, and I'm right back on a flight.
Oh, dope.
So
where y'all going?
Curacao. Most folks don't even know where that is. I never even heard of it either.
Where's that at again?
It's near Aruba.
Oh, dope. All right,
they call it the ABC Islands. Like Aruba is one of them, and there's another one I never heard of, and then it's she just wanted to do something different. You know, she don't want to be like nobody else. She's like everybody else.
Younger than you?
Other places, huh?
Is she younger than you?
1 year.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, 1 year younger than me. So
enjoy the trip, bro.
It should be cool. I'm gonna have a real vacation. That's why I was really grinding and trying to get as much done with this property as possible, so I can really do nothing.
Good for you.
I'm not trying to be taking no damn phone calls and calling contractors. Like, nah, phone going off.
Good for you. Chill out. Enjoy it.
That'll be something different, but
no tweet talk episodes. No tweet talk episode Curacao. I feel inspired.
Just let me know when that is. Cool. All right, so we're gonna wrap this up. People be problem solvers, not just problem identifiers. Because you're gonna have to create problems for yourselves, man. New levels, new devils, and all that kind of stuff. Because like now Charles is doing a whole 3-day challenge with Jacqueline plans, and that's.
I just say yes to everything. Anybody who's like, "Hey, want to be involved?" I'm like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, and I'm like, listening for the date, and it's like, oh man, we already booked to speak on that date.
Who is?
Both of us. We're
I'll
supposed to
Right.
be talking.
I'll fit them both in.
Let's
We're just
see.
gonna double it up. Tell them if just tell we're gonna work it out, man. That's why I say yes. We'll work it out. If it's an hour split, we'll make an hour split. We'll
We're
work
gonna
it
work
out.
it out. We're gonna work it out. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at Tweet Talk Pod. That's POD. Follow Charles on Twitter. What's up, Dre?
No, no. Whoop, whoop. I said whoop, whoop.
Follow myself on Twitter at Work Money Life. Follow Charles on Twitter at Real Todd Billion because there's only one. Follow us on Instagram at Tweet Talk Podcast. Follow Charles on Instagram at Real Todd Billion and the parent company at Todd.capital. Be sure to follow our dude Andre C. Hatchett everywhere.
Mhm.
Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. Be sure to follow us on TikTok at Tweet Talk Pod and at Todd.capital. Episode 139 of Tweet Talk About Wealth podcast with our brother, Andre Hatchett, myself, Raphael, and Charles. Yeah, out.
All right, y'all. I'll y'all later. Thanks.
All right.